once, an engine attached to a train... Oh, shut up, groaned Henry, as he ran into a tunnel, refusing to come out. His driver and fireman argued with him, but all he said was, "Sod off, the rain will spoil my paint." The guard and passengers tried to tell Henry to move, but he just blew steam at them and gave them verbal abuse. Moments later, the Fat Controller arrived.
"We're going to pull you out,"
he said, but Henry only made rude faces at him.
"I'm afraid I can't help you. My doctor has forbidden me to pull,"
said the Fat Controller as he opened up a bag of crisps.
"Can't beat walkers."
They found a rope and attached it to Henry.
1, 2, 3, heave,
called the Fat Controller, spitting crumbs all over everyone. "Like you can pull out an 80-ton steam engine," Henry scoffed. Then the rope snapped.
"You passengers are all pathetic,"
groaned the Fat Controller.
"Why do I even bother giving you train rides?"
"Because you want their money, sir," reminded his assistant.
"Oh, that's right,"
said Sir Topham.
"Can't buy courage without money, can you?"
The passengers began to complain about their rope burns and sore bums.
"Try pushing from the other end,"
suggested the controller.
"I can't help, I'm afraid. My doctor is forbidden."
We know. The passengers groaned. They failed miserably. Just then, Thomas arrived.
"Push this train full of worthless passengers in a smart arse at the front,"
ordered Fat Hat. The tank engine tried his hardest, but soon he had to go and see a psychiatrist because of the abuse the Fat Controller gave him for not doing it properly.
"Right,"
he said.
"Since I'm a big fat slob with a spoiled wife, I'm just going to leave you in that tunnel."
A load of bricklayers showed up out of nowhere and tried to build a wall in front of Henry. It was dreadfully difficult because the Fat Controller kept standing on it trying to direct them, and it kept collapsing under his weight. They had to bring a bucket of chicken over to distract him. At last they finished. "About time," moaned Henry. And so Henry stayed in the tunnel. He does wish he could come out and pull passengers again, just as long as Blubbermaster Meisterblubber isn't one of them. At times, Edward and Gordon would pass by and whistle. Henry was always in a foul mood, so he would shout profanities at them. One morning, Gordon backed down on his express train. He saw the Fat Controller climb aboard.
"Oh, Lord,"
he groaned, as he felt the weight strain on his couplings. Soon he left the station, with the help of a back engine. The Fat Controller was sitting in his apartment when he saw the trolley attendant come by. His eyes widened when he saw the enormous cream pie on the trolley.
"Excuse me,"
he said as innocently as possible. "Yes?" Then he realised who he was talking to and gasped. "Oh shit, not you!" The Fat Controller jumped. A giant dent formed in the coach. Then there was a crack and Gordon's cab filled with leaking steam. The driver looked back only to see the Fat Controller chasing the attendant through the carriage windows. The train stopped just outside the tunnel. "Oh crud," muttered Henry. "Fatty's back." The Fat Controller stepped off the train covered in pie filling and with a cherry stuck to his hat. He was munching on a bag of peanuts.
"What's all this then?"
he asked. "You burst Gordon's safety valve with all your weight, sir," said the driver. "He's not going anywhere now."
"I've never liked these big engines,"
burped the Fat Controller.
"Get another engineer pronto."
Soon Edward arrived. He tried his best to move the heavy train, but with the extra ton the Fat Controller put on by riding in the dining car, he had no chance.
"Why don't you let Henry try it?"
asked Gordon.
"Glad I thought of it,"
smiled the Fat Controller.
"Will you help move this train, Henry?"
he asked. "Go and jump off a bridge," replied Henry.
"What a stupid idea, Gordon,"
the Fat Controller moaned. Just then, Peter Kay poked his head out of one of the windows.
"If you think you're so great, why don't you pull the train?" he shouted. "Very well then, I will,"
Sir Topham replied. But 3 seconds after trying, the blobby old bugger collapsed in a burst of exhaustion.
"Need grease,"
he said between deep breaths. He turned to his assistant.
"Oh, get me a Big Mac from McDonald's, would you?"
"This is pathetic," groaned Henry. "All right, you fat slob, I'll do it. Shall I call the bricklayers?" asked Hatty's assistant.
"No need,"
said the Fat Controller. He went over to the wall and stood on it. It instantly collapsed. Henry was soon ready and coupled to the train.
Quick, Edward,
He called,
let's get out of here before Tubby gets on board.
but it was too late. He was already on the train and chasing the trolley attendant. After much struggle, the train was off. The Fat Controller leaned out of the window only to fall into a field where a herd of goats chased him for eating all their kibble. The rest of the journey was much easier. When the express arrived at the next station, the Fat Controller was on the platform. He was covered in straw and manure.
Well done, you two,
He said,
Henry shall be repaired, repainted, and have something done about his attitude problem.
"Oh, whatever," Henry scoffed.